Stanzi, we've never been speechless on this podcast.
Yeah, the whole point of this podcast is we don't shut up, and that was crazy. That was the longest.
The first person in history to shut us up, Stanzi Potenza!
Play the music!
Play the music!
Play the music! Hello, everyone! Holy
welcome to...
Good job cursing in the first 10 seconds.
Right? Okay, again, we have been told not to curse in the first 90 seconds, and here we are in the first 10. They didn't say anything about cursing in the first 10. They said not the first 90. Not the first 10.
Play by the rules here.
Yeah, that's very Cat Valentine. They didn't say I couldn't sing moment.
Yeah.
I'm glad that wasn't...
They didn't say I couldn't sing. I remember it. Hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome to the Big Loud podcast for you.
This is Syd Olivia Talk. I'm the Syd one.
I'm the Olivia one.
And today we're here with a very special third one.
Yeah, we got a good one.
One of our favorite thirds in real life. Yeah. Now you decide what that means.
Yeah. Now go home and really think about what that means.
This is internet creator, brilliant comedian,
style icon, genius person,
leather dress wearer, croc enthusiast. This is Stanzi Potenza.
Oh my god. Thank you.
Oh my god, how are you?
I'm so good.
Lovely.
Stanzi, you know what's one of the best things about this? Is that we real life know you.
Yeah.
I know. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Sometimes we bring in people who are like, we love you, we admire you from afar,
Yeah.
but we don't know you, but we would love to get to know you.
Yeah, time to get to know you. But
we
now
know
it's
you.
like, well, let's just hang out in front of cameras.
Just be girls together.
Let's just be girls together and make a girl day.
Yeah. Before this, you were saying that you actually know a theory about Amelia Earhart and crabs.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that's the first
Let's
thing
get
for this
right into
episode.
that, I guess.
Let's just get this out of the way.
Let's get this out of the way so that
Yeah.
people can stop asking.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of DMs.
So there was a theory that Amelia Earhart, like, her plane went down.
That one has been proven to be true.
Yeah.
That part of
There
the
was
theory
a theory
is pretty much,
that
yeah.
she went missing.
Yeah. Yeah, rumor has it.
Rumor has it the plane went down, but I think it's still up there.
But I think she's still flying to this day, just going round and around. But the plane went down, but she was able to get out onto, like, a nearby island. But she was severely injured, and she was eaten by coconut crabs, which is a pretty gnarly way to go, in my opinion.
So here's my question then. Can we just see what a coconut crab
what is
looks
a
like
coconut
real
crab?
fast? Because I can tell you
it's like
that's
a
way, it's
steroid
way bigger
crab.
than
Yeah,
a crab.
it's not like a little
that
cute...
sucks so much.
Yeah, it's not like a little Sebastian from Little Mermaid.
Oh my god, look at the
type
one on the
shit.
trash can.
Oh my god, those are sick. Wait, that's fucking sick. Okay,
yeah.
so these guys potentially ate our girl Amelia.
Our girl.
Yeah, they're like,
whilst-
she's bleeding,
And-
looking pretty rough.
Yeah, look at them compared to this guy. They're fucking huge.
And where did this theory come from? Did someone go like, "Oh, I've seen it with me own eyes"?
yeah.
Like, I found the carcass.
What is the...
It was eaten up by these crabs.
Yeah, Theory's foundation. 13 bones were discovered that belonged to a female.
Okay.
And then everyone was like, based on that, I'm pretty fucking sure it's Amelia Earhart and crabs ate her.
Okay, so I would call that fair.
So, like, who really knows? But
To test the theory, they conducted experiments involving pig carcasses and coconut crabs, demonstrating that the crabs can efficiently strip a carcass in a relatively short amount of time.
Oh.
Well, okay.
Here's what I have to say.
That's like a fun fact share when you're like in a new group and you're like, hi, my name's Olivia and I can strip a
little
carcass of its
party.
meat in a relatively short period of time.
What I was going to say is, you know how you can decide what happens to your body after you die? Like, for example,
Sometimes.
you can be burnt and then thrown into the ocean.
Sometimes you can decide.
Perhaps
Some people don't have that privilege.
Right. Sometimes you can be put into a, like, big joint burial hole.
Yep.
I think when I die,
Yeah.
I would like my body to be eliminated by these crabs.
That sounds great.
I would like it to be given to them, and then they can decide what to do with that.
That sounds great. You guys remember the that company that was like, oh, we'll plant your loved one into a tree.
Yeah.
And then they actually just stole all the bodies and didn't do that and just had a bunch of bodies.
Is that actually what
darn
happened?
it.
Yes, they got very arrested.
What did
they got super.
They got, they just kept them in because I guess it was cheaper to just keep them in a storage space.
I didn't know it was
to
the tree planting one.
And so that's a bummer
Oh, yeah.
because the people, that's a very thoughtful thing to be like, I want to be planted into a tree. Yeah, they stockpiled bodies for 4 years. Not good. Not good. They were a couple, I think.
Not good.
Oh, God,
I remember hearing about that, and then the people that went into the unit were like, "Oh, it was real bad in there."
Yep.
Oh, God.
Real bad. Yeah.
I at least hope they were doing something fun with the bodies in there, like dressing them up,
I think
playing
they were
pretend with them.
when you said
them on
something
top.
fun with the bodies, my mind went to
When two why
much
men aren't
darker.
allowed to be hired at
like
mortuaries.
funeral.
Yeah.
You mean like sexy times with the bodies?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what they were doing, and you tell me if this sounds fun.
Unfortunately, I will say that is a good way to bring in a third, is if you don't want to risk it ruining your couple, is it for...
Yeah, if you don't want to ruin the relationship with the third and have an awkward thing going on.
It could just be dead.
Right, and the thing is, like, if that's not ruining your relationship with your primary partner, I think then that's a total conversation to have.
And it could also ruin your relationship with the state because it's
for
illegal.
Example,
True.
Yeah. It could
Friends
ruin your
and
relationship with the
family.
justice system.
Yourself.
Are we in the first 5 minutes of this episode and we're already talking about fucking dead people?
100%. But here's the thing. Do you think if a company was like, hey, we have crabs strip your bodies, coconut crabs strip your body, it's the Amelia Earhart death,
the Amelia Earhart death package?
Death package. Wait. If they do you think they'd actually do it, or do you think they'd be like, these motherfuckers?
Stanzi? Only you can really answer that.
Because it's so niche.
It is
like the tree thing, and I'm like, are you going to be honest?
I feel like it could be profitable if it was like a company that they let you get the treatment, like the death treatment of like other celebrities or well-known people that have died.
So much less dark.
They're like,
than what I
how
first
would
understand.
you
So
like to sort of go out? Mm-hmm. This could almost be like, like Maid, like the what's it called? Medically assisted suicide thing.
Yes.
You know, you're
a
going out
that does
anyway.
like really
Choose
fun
a celebrity that you want to go out as. Do you want like Marilyn?
That's fun.
Elvis. Yeah. Maybe like I don't know. It could be other like big sort of deaths too, like an Ocean Gate thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, like go out with a bang.
You know,
literally.
if stuff starts getting a lot worse, that would become a profitable business.
Because celebrity culture is so
out of control.
Yeah, people
would
would
totally
copy everything about celebrities. Why not copy their death?
Copy their deaths.
Yeah.
Oh my! I feel like people would do it because people are crazy.
100%. I would say that sentence is pretty much across the board always valid. I think people would do it because people are crazy.
Yeah. Also, so many people have died at the Chateau Marmont. Like, so many celebrities have died at the Chateau Marmont that they would probably have to open some new rooms.
Yeah, they would have a headquarters at the Chateau Marmont.
They would have to do some new rooms.
Yeah. I think that's an idea. I think that's a... Oh, yeah.
Dang. Dang kings and queens.
You know, we were talking about sort of like little party facts
to
share earlier.
What's yours?
My favorite one is that during the... so James Cameron, director of the Titanic, has gone down to the Titanic 33 times. He's gone down to visit. Mm-hmm. And he was actually down there when 9/11 happened.
I did know that.
Yeah, right? Okay. So he came back up and they were like, 9/11 happened. He's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you had to be there.
He was like, can you put it in terms of Titanic?
Like, they're like, imagine if a building or two was a ship.
He's like, got it. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's a video of him learning about what 9/11 is.
Oh, somebody videotaped it?
Yeah, he came up and they were like, James, oh my God. He was at one
Somebody
huge
videotaped it?
What's this thing that's going on?
Worst terrorist attack in history, Jim.
We all were very wrapped up.
Oh my God.
In what we were doing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Wait.
He's like,
can we pause it? Him still climbing out, and they say, worst terrorist attack in history, Jim. What?
Well, you know, like, I feel like in that moment, like, you're like, you want to be the first one to tell James Cameron about this craziest thing that's happened.
About 9/11.
You're like, oh my God.
I know. I was going to say, this is a Mad Lib. It's blank came from a blank visiting blank only to discover that blank had happened.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make it a crazier sentence.
That like to be the one to say that to James Cameron.
Yeah.
I mean, insensitive, sure, but like to be the one to tell James Cameron about 9/11 happening.
Do you think they kind of like fought over who was going to do it?
They did.
Yeah, they were like whoever. They were like trying to get
like
as
let me
close to the
tell him,
front
let me
as
tell-
possible.
yeah.
Like, James, guess what?
Guess what?
James,
James, over here.
James,
Oh
over
my
here.
God, that is
James,
crazy.
please.
That is so.
And then the second person who says something to him has to try to think of something to one up it.
Yeah.
In
a second plane.
You know what?
Oh, did you hear about the Pentagon too? Like,
Wow.
oh my God.
it's so crazy.
Here's another thing.
Bill Paxton was the one who broke the news to them.
Oh man.
man.
So he gets the credit. Yeah.
Oh, here's another
Good
thing.
for him.
You also said that he had visited 33 times.
Yeah.
Did he expect something to change?
I think he's just
Into it. He
obsessed
just
with the
loves it.
Titanic.
Did
I get
he
it.
think like there was going to be something different down there?
It's like when you go to your favorite restaurant or your favorite park.
But the Titanic
And you just keep
is
getting
not
the
my
same
favorite
thing.
restaurant. It is a sunken ship.
Have
It's
you
James
ever had the
Cameron's.
food there?
Have I ever had the food at the Titanic?
At the Titanic, because if you have not, then how could you be judgmental of it?
It's just one of those things. I mean, I guess it corrodes more as time goes on.
He needs to check in on the corroding, right?
Yeah. He's just like, it's still rotting.
I think that every time he comes up, he goes, "There's no way that whole thing's down there. I gotta check again.
I gotta go again.
There's no way I didn't make
It must
that
be
up.
a trick of the eyes.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
He thinks he made it
like,
up.
there's no way I didn't make that. Can someone come down with me this time and just make sure it's
Yeah.
actually there?
Like, I for sure made this
when
up.
Ocean
right?
Gate
There's no
happened, they were
fucking
like
way.
interviewing him and stuff because he's like, yeah, no, that was carbon fiber hull. He can't do that because he's just been down there so many times that he just knows so
Yeah.
much about the like submersibles and what is needed.
Oh,
Exactly, that's the
cutting
video where he's just
corners.
kind of like, yeah, you can't
You
do that.
What a
I
guy.
would
They didn't get
never.
certified because they knew they couldn't pass. Eesh, that sucks ass.
Yeah, what
I
a
would
guy.
never. Ocean scares me.
Ocean can be scary. It's a big bad place we don't know.
I like ocean, but then once it's scary, it is so scary.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the thing. It's
so
flip.
much can go wrong.
It's like most things that we love is
so fun. But once it becomes scary,
They can be scary.
pass.
Yeah. You know that I almost drowned when I was a kid, right? You
Where?
heard that story?
In the ocean?
I was at the beach and I got caught in a riptide and I got pulled out and I was like for sure thought I was going to die.
How old were you?
I was 11. And a man that I met the day before jumped in the water to pull me out. And he had gotten me but he was still struggling to get me out. His wife was the one that actually pulled me back onto the sand. But he had a heart attack while he was pulling me out, and he died like later that day. Yeah. Fucking crazy.
Stanzi, we've never been speechless on this podcast.
Yeah, the whole point of this podcast is we don't shut up, and that was crazy. That was the
The
longest.
first person in history to shut us up, Stanzi Potenza!
Play the music.
Play the music!
Play the music.
It is one of those things where I've talked about it so much that when I tell the story, I'm just kind of like, yeah, and then this happened, and then people have a very strong reaction to it.
Wow.
There is a thing about knowing your traumatic experiences so well that you become like, this is just me story.
Yeah, 100%.
And you like
Little tale that happened to me.
you tell it at a party and you just go like, I remember in 4th grade I was in a bank robbery.
Yeah.
And my mother pushed me down when the gun was at me. And everyone's like, what?
I think the thing that got me the most, because I'm always hearing, traumatic stories, and I'm always ready to hear them. I'm always like, okay.
I'm always hearing traumatic
them. I'm always
stories.
ready to hear them. I'm always like, yeah,
Can I
let's
ask
go.
from whom?
From everyone.
Every person tells you their traumatic
stops
story.
me on the street, shakes me by the shoulders, and tells me, and I'm always like, yeah, it's fair.
My father shot my mother.
I'm like, that sounds about right. But what I didn't expect is for I didn't expect the guy to die.
Yeah, because
That's
like it's
crazy.
traumatic enough to think that you're going to die.
No, but that
and be
someone
caught
actually
in a
did
situation
saving
like
you
that.
is like so traumatic.
Yeah, and he was
For everyone.
It wasn't his first time either.
With a heart
He had-
attack?
No, saving.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, I think he had a heart attack that wasn't caught. earlier like that year, something like a few months before.
Was this
something.
Like a vacation area?
It was like a private beach home, so it was their private beach home. So his wife worked with my mom.
Oh, wow.
And at like a therapist's office, and they invited us over to their place, and they had a granddaughter that was about the age of my sister and I. So my sister and I ended up sleeping over, and my mom went home. She was like, "You're in good hands. I have to go home, do whatever." I think we had animals that she had to take care of. So she let us stay there, and it was the next morning that it happened.
Holy shit. So you were in the house when it happened?
I was...
It was the next morning that the drowning situation
The drowning situation happened.
Got it.
Yeah. So it was like we slept over. The next morning, we went out swimming, and I didn't notice at the time that I was just slowly getting pulled further and further into the... But that's... Riptides are like... You have to really look out in the ocean, like, because you don't...
Yeah.
People walk into, like, the water, and they don't know what to look out for, and they just get swept away, and a lot of times they die because riptides are like, you want to fight against them, and really what you have to do is kind of just let it take you until you're out of it. But I was 11, I had no idea what I was dealing with, but he had actually saved someone before. He had saved, I think, a couple that was like, got like their boat tipped over or something, and he went out to save them because he was in the Navy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so he like had experience with this stuff, but yeah, so he was an amazing man. And I had years to sort of deal with it. So now when when I've talked about it online, people are like, why are you so chill about this situation?
Because you had many a year to process.
That's the thing is like when people say their traumatic experience is like it's nothing. You're so used to it at some point.
If you're especially if you've had time to heal from it, you're kind of like, then this happened, and people are like, what?
And I was fine. Like, and then you are like, wait, did I make you feel bad? I'm sorry.
I was like, I meant to be super chill about it and kind of just be like, and then this happened.
It is funny how like I don't think that ever happens in movies or TV, but it happens constantly in real life. Like
riptides?
Yeah, riptides. No, quicksand. No. Like people just saying the shit that happened to them in a non-dramatic monologue, saying like the worst possible, like being like, and then just some horrible thing, super casually. Like whereas in film and TV, it's always like, okay, fine, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've actually seen that happen in real life maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
And I've seen like, I was kidnapped for a couple years.
And they're doing shakas.
Like doing this. Like I see that like 100 times a day. It's so interesting that I just made that,
Yeah, no, it's so true. I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast, I think, before, but my therapist had to tell me to stop doing shakas.
Mine's fine with it.
Yeah, I would say something super sad, and then I'd be like, oh, fucking hell, right? And she was like, let's not do that anymore. Let's not do it.
Like, my bad.
I was like, okay, my bad.
You know what's one thing kids should learn? Budgeting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't learn budgeting as a child.
It's actually really helpful now that we have things like Rocket Money.
What?
Which is today's sponsor.
Oh my God. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better.
Recently, I realized I was subscribed to a service that I thought was just like a one-time thing.
Yes.
I thought I was purchasing something one time, and then I realized
that
through Rocket Money that it is actually a subscription, and I was able to cancel it directly in the app. And it was like really easy.
I'm always forgetting when something is a recurring subscription and when something's not. Like I always think it's a one-time thing, or I go like, oh, I'll remember to cancel it. And then I truly don't because I don't remember anything. And so, it's really helpful to be able to just search through your subscriptions with just like a couple taps.
Yeah, I love using Rocket Money. I cancel unwanted subscriptions with it. I will connect my bank, and then Rocket Money will tell me any of the subscriptions in a single list.
Yeah, and you can set a budget.
Yeah, this is an actual app that I use to help me with budgeting.
We both genuinely love this app.
Yeah, it has helped me so much. It reminds me of things that I don't remember signing up for.
Yep, subscriptions.
I can cancel all of my subscriptions in one place if I want to.
So take control of your finances today and go to rocketmoney.com/Syd and Olivia to get started for free.
Yeah. When we talked earlier about, we were talking about, like mental health sort of in film and television. I think the movie is called Ordinary People with Donald Sutherland. I'm not entirely
I've
sure.
heard of that.
Ordinary People Normal People. Oh yeah, Ordinary People.
Ordinary People is
Donald Sutherland. Yeah.
Yep.
It was. We watched it in like when I was like a freshman, I think, in college. Prior to me like going to therapy, actually, we watched that movie and it was very similar to what I experienced, where it was like a boat accident. The brother dies. The kid feels very guilty about all of it.
Oh shit.
And it's like him sort of trying to deal with like the trauma of all of that, and it felt so realistic to me, like watching him deal with it. And I had like a mental breakdown after it. I had like a panic attack after it because I was like, oh my God. But I was like, that was like one of the best sort of like realistic depictions of like dealing with PTSD, at least for me. I felt like very, because sometimes you see it and it's like
it's so silly.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's great because it's like when it's done well, fuck yeah, that's all. But when it's not, it's like, oh my God, what this character hatched from an egg this morning.
Yeah.
He's not a person on any level.
It's I've been watching I've been watching the new John Hamm show, which is called Your Friends and Neighbors I think it's on Apple.
Okay.
And there's this one character who is his adult sister, and her whole thing is that she's like the family fuck up because she's mentally ill. We don't know like what her illness is or what happened, but when we
non-specific
it's
film illness.
But when we are introduced to her, she is playing guitar on her ex-lover's lawn, who is now married, and she's being like, I have folk music in my heart because of my mental breakdown. And it's like, what is happening?
Folk music.
And every time we see her, she's either sorting pills or holding a guitar, and then at some point I'm pretty sure we see her sort pills on a guitar.
It's so good.
And
making a guitar out of pills.
And not only is she mentally ill, she's also an artist.
Yes. She's an artist and therefore mentally ill. She's not the main character type of artist.
Yeah.
Or the love interest type of artist.
Yeah.
She's the unwell sweaters on the lawn.
Everything about the character, every time I'm like, it's so crazy that
that's no one.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
How this is portrayed.
That's no one.
This is like how mental illness is portrayed in this show, and it's so funny to me because I'm like, I know all you writers are ill because people in Hollywood are not.
Yeah.
So we know that this isn't how it works, my friends. But it's pretty awesome. Also, have you ever seen the movie What Women Want?
Oh my God. I know you just watched that. I haven't.
There is an excellent Nancy Meyers movie called What Women Want, starring Mel Gibson. You know, our favorite person.
I always saw the poster of this at the UCLA fucking film room.
Heartthrob Mel Gibson.
And I've been on a big Nancy Meyers kick and watching all the old Nancy Meyers movies because it's just fun. And in this one, Mel Gibson gets the powers to hear what women are thinking in their minds because he gets electrocuted by a blow dryer while wearing a bra.
Yeah, that happened.
Was this directed by a man?
I don't know, but it was written by Nancy Meyers.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Did she hatch from an egg this morning?
Probably.
Or did it get noted to death?
It probably got noted to death. But truly every single... Did she direct it? Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, here, to be honest, I do love Nancy Meyers. It's just, this is so crazy. So yeah, that's him getting electrocuted. Awesome. I guess he doesn't have the bra on, but he was trying one on 5 seconds before, which is obviously why he gets the power.
Right, of course.
But every time he hears women's thoughts, it's usually like, I have to get my nails done at 3, or I have to pick up the kids at 4. But then there's one woman who is a young Judy Greer who's thinking, if I just jumped, no one would miss me.
Every other woman's like, oh, my breasts.
What
oh, my
period. She's wearing glasses and a turtleneck, and she's like, none of these men know that I'm hot and therefore don't want to fuck me, and so I'm going to kill myself. And then...
What planet are the eggs from?
I don't know, but it is awesome. And in the end, he saves her by just going to her apartment and offering her a job, which is the way to cure depression.
Oh my God, every time I've...
Work helps.
Yeah.
Every time I've been hardcore real life suicidal, when someone comes to my apartment and says, here's a job, I say, now I'm not.
When someone breaks into my apartment,
offers me a job and says, hey, I know you think you're ugly, but you're hot. I go, well, now
I'm not going to jump.
How would you like to make minimum wage?
My chemicals are different now. My chemicals have changed now.
But speaking of like all of the characters that are portrayed incorrectly to represent mental health in the media.
Yes.
We wanted to play a little game with
Oh,
you,
I love a little
Stanzi.
game.
Oh, yay.
Oh, iconic.
We wanted to do our impressions of how mentally ill people are portrayed in media.
Yep.
So play the music. Cut the music.
Oh, no.
I'm doing the manic pixie dream girl inaccurate portrayal of someone with ADHD.
Oh,
So this is what Hollywood thinks a woman with ADHD is.
Yeah. Stanzi, do you want to be the sexy man in my sexy
Only
male
always.
main character?
I always want to be the sexy man.
Interior coffee shop day.
I wonder where she is. She's pretty late.
Suddenly, Candy, 30s, overalls and pigtails, comes in hitting 4 chairs. Whoa! Oh, hey there. You're Robert, right?
No, I'm Jacob.
Oh, you're right. Robert is my dad and my llama. Sorry.
no.
Yeah, isn't this bad? Yeah. And then I say, sorry, my name is Llama. I mean Candy. Oops, sorry I'm late. I lost track of time because I was knitting my back hair into fingerless gloves for local orphans. I'm best friends with all the local orphans, even though I'm an adult, and it's okay because my mom is dead. I ran over someone with my bike today, but it's okay because I'm not like other girls. Time to put on makeup. Ooh.
Did you break?
Wow, she's so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
She's not like other
so
girls
do we
I
think
know.
that was good?
It's
Broke
pretty.
your lipstick and it's
She's just
sitting on
in
your
your
boob.
chest.
That's like part of it.
She's
guys.
like, oh, that's my cleavage lipstick.
Oops. I guess it goes there. Yeah. So
You
that's
probably
like,
think I'm pretty weird, huh?
So she has ADHD.
That's what I-
according to the writers.
yeah. Or I think that's just how it's like the manic pixie dream girl
Yes,
ADHD.
and she is
thing.
from like a millennial
Yeah. Like a bad millennial
movie
or TV.
rom-com
Yeah.
where
Yes.
it's like I like her because she's different.
She's different, and we hate normal women.
We hate normal women. I like her that she's different.
Yeah, I would say I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen what I just did a lot, and it really hurt to do that. Do you want to do one?
Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking about like, me as a person who takes the big pills for the big depression. I was like, what's something I can relate to in media? And we're calling this
Oh yeah, because they don't really do depression and call it depression.
No.
Sometimes a character will be sad or depressed and they won't say it, but when they
so we're going to call this unspecified sent away disorder. Because in movies and TV shows, there's always a girl who just came back from
being
some
sent
sort
away.
of mental health facility, but they never exactly explain what it is.
an unspecified.
So in this girl
Emergency.
just got back from a 10-day hiatus to an unspecified mental facility for an unspecified reason. So she'll be like in like middle school or something,
Oh, middle school. Wow. Okay. Great.
and
great.
the teacher says,
Okay, class. Everybody be nice to Kayla. As we all know, Kayla is back, but let's not ask Kayla any questions about where she went, okay? Let's just all act like it's normal. Okay, class?
she stands in front of the class and says, "That's right. Weirdo freak girl is back. Listen, I know you all want to ask me questions about the Looney Tunes jail I was just let out of. So let's get a couple things straight, okay? No, you don't have to treat me differently. I'm still same old Kayla, fastest girl at kickball and best climber of trees.
Fuck.
No, they didn't do testing on me. Yeah, no, I'm not wearing these striped arm socks to cover up a microchip they put in my skin. I'm not some freakazoid science experiment. I'm just Kayla, the same old girl who hides in the supply closet to smoke cigarettes with the janitor. No, my parents' divorce isn't what made me go crazy. Okay? No, I don't want to go to the homecoming dance with you, so don't even try asking. And yes, I did shave my head.
Whoa, that's really good.
And then picture my head is shaved.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what
I
I,
can't
feel
picture it. Can we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
If we could fly in
Hey,
someone to
guys.
shave my
I
head.
feel like it would help you really get into character.
It would really help the look of,
Yeah.
method acting.
of unspecified sent away illness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like there's like kind of a vibe of like just
good.
some girl who is back at school and everyone's like, where did she go? I feel like those always exist.
That
in
always-
some-
Yeah.
She's back in school, and if she's not, she's back in town.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just like, I guess the freak can talk.
Yeah. And it's like Yeah, we all know that she can talk. You guys have known her for years.
Yeah, we know Kayla.
No, Kayla.
Yeah,
we're
Kayla.
aware. Yeah,
we all went to elementary school together.
We've known her for years.
Worked on that science
Yeah.
project.
Yeah,
Why are we
100%.
being assholes?
It's always like she's always some guy's neighbor.
Yes, 100%. Because
some
that's
boy-
all anyone can picture.
Yeah,
and he's like maybe a little more popular than
Yeah.
she is, and he's just kind of like, I never thought of you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like it's some boy like
Or he's like a super nerd, but he's like really innocent, and she's like a dark outcast, and he's like a light outcast.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then they like blend to make one big
One
outcast.
I always
big
thought you were
mid-tone outcast.
cool, actually.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Don't listen to
He gets
them.
bullied by people for liking her, and he's like,
Yeah.
actually, Kayla's pretty cool.
Yeah, hey, I'm
It's
not.
you guys who are the losers.
Yeah, you should listen to her violin music sometime.
Yeah, and then
she's
when they-
actually really talented.
And then when they do, she's cured
Yeah, and then she's
of
cured
whatever
of
it
her
was.
whatever
Of whatever
disorder
it
that
was, and we're never gonna know what it was, but she is.
And then we all
Cured.
just
Yeah, and then we all slow up.
That's beautiful. Okay, well,
Stanzi, any mental illnesses that you think are not done well enough in the media?
we're gonna take a darker turn.
I love
Schizophrenia.
okay, that is a good
Schizophrenia.
one because I can tell where you're gonna go with like how badly that's portrayed.
It's literally always like so often. It doesn't happen in every hospital show.
Oh
that
God,
I've
she's
seen.
taking off the Crocs.
Yeah, the Crocs come off. The character.
Oh yeah.
It's usually a little bit of this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But,
If you're
corner-
listening and not watching, Stanzi is on the chair,
She's
kind
perched like a bird.
perched like a bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually like a
Rocking,
a rocking
like
back
rocking.
and forth, and there's violence. There's a lot of like these people are out here to kill you. It'll be like doctor walks in the room and it's just kind of like, what do you want? You see them too, right?
That's always it.
That's really good.
It won't stop. It won't stop. And then like they leave the hospital room. They're like, have you seen little Jamie? Like, where did they go? What happened? They're like, last time I saw them, they were in the cafeteria. They steal a knife from the cafeteria.
Oh my God, they do.
And then
They kill someone
like,
or
yeah,
themselves.
like stab someone. They're like,
like,
I only did
swear.
it because they told me to.
100%. That is so
That's
good.
good.
That happened in I love ER. And that was one of my comfort shows when I was going through a really bad breakup. Because I was like watching these fictional characters get killed in
No,
a
there's
terrible
something.
ways.
There's something so nice about like a junk food show when you need it.
It was
like a
great.
comfort.
And ER, John Carter right there, who is now on the Pit. He created the
Oh,
Pit.
shit.
First of all, I loved ER. But they did have an episode where a schizophrenic character does get a knife and stabs Carter
Yup.
and another doctor. And I personally have a lot of experience with bipolar disorder in my family, relationships that I have, like a lot of friends, I've known a lot of people that have had it, and I do know someone that has bipolar 1 that borders on schizophrenia.
I know one of those.
Yeah,
and
we know.
he
Yeah.
is the most normal person
No, seriously.
I've ever met, and like compared to every other person in our friend group, like she was just kind of like she was the most normal one. Like she had a great job. All of us were artists that were like, yeah, we do crazy stuff, and she was just like along for the ride, and she was very sweet. And then like when we sort of talked about like her bipolar disorder, like she I mean, it was like crazy stuff that she had gone through.
Yeah.
But like it was never like this person's a threat to society.
No, and that's what's the crazy. Yeah, it's like
it's always it's the thing you said during the thing of you see them too, right? Or like I had to because they told me to.
Yeah.
Is such a funny thing because that's always how it's portrayed.
Yeah.
Of like I saw the voices and they told me to kill. It's
to
like,
kill,
what?
to murder. Yeah.
and it's like, sure, is that scary? Absolutely. Good job scaring me, but that's not like a
I doubt
you
that's what it is
all the time.
yeah,
No, there's
because a lot of people I see talk about it are like, yeah, no, I see a guy right there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's real. I saw a girl on TikTok that was talking about having schizophrenia, and she was working at a bakery, and they would hand out like samples to people. and she handed out a sample to someone that she hallucinated, and it fell on the floor, and she filmed it after. She was like, I thought someone was standing in front of me, so I handed it to him, and then it just fell on the floor, and she was just laughing about it.
Yeah.
Which it's like, that's scary and intense, but like, when your disorder.
It's like when you have a grip on your things, right? Like everyone has things, you know, and once you're like, I know how to deal with my things, I have a grip on what my things are. Sure, it's like scary and freaky, but it's also kind of just like once you have a handle on it, it becomes more normal to you, and then you can just function. I don't know, like that's I would. I
also think handing a pastry to somebody in a bakery and then them not grabbing it and in turn it just falls on the floor is, I would say, slightly different from stabbing someone because the
voice says
hallucination told you
just
to.
a little different.
You know what also is not portrayed well at all, ever?
Siblings.
Oh, I was going to say OCD, but siblings.
Oh my God, OCD is never portrayed correctly. I actually have OCD. It's never...
Wait, I'm sorry.
Siblings?
What
do you mean?
You're right.
I meant like adult siblings.
Yeah,
in
adult
TV
siblings
shows
in
and
TV.
movies.
Are they too romantic with each other?
They're either like they're gonna
They've
like
never met.
Either they've never met, they're gonna fuck, or they're like, okay, stupid.
Yeah, or they're
And
like
it's
5.
what?
Have you seen the Folgers commercial?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I joke about it a lot in anime because it's a huge trope in anime where the siblings...
Did I see your video about like,
I made it
me,
at
my
least
brother?
2.
Like recently?
Yes.
That's so
My
funny.
big brother's the best.
Date him? No. Like,
I would never. He's my brother. I couldn't possibly.
Oh, I want to absolutely end it right now.
I know, right? Don't you just want to like,
no, I that's really, it's
bad.
like, it's weirdly accurate.
I mean, it's the same thing on the freaking John Hamm show. Is like he and his sister, they're both adults and they have no idea how to write it. So it's just both of them being like, stupid. How are you, dum dum?
Yeah, it's either like it's either like we are lovers, we are twin 11-year-old siblings both going through puberty and fighting every day, or we have truly never met.
I mean, truly the only accurate depiction of adult siblings is on White Lotus season 3.
3, yeah, of course.
yeah.
Let's go back. You were saying they don't portray OCD correctly, which is true.
Yeah, I was just like, they always just do like, it's about being clean, and it's about everything being perfect.
That
and
is
it's
so
like,
frustrating.
No, it's about being like, am I attracted to animals? Let me like pray for hours to make sure I'm not attracted to animals just in case I am.
So I got diagnosed with OCD probably a few years ago. I didn't realize I had it until I had people like point out different things that I was doing that they were like, oh, you have OCD thumbs. And I go, what the fuck is that? And they were like, I guess it's when you just like pick at your skin and you pull it. And I was like, oh yeah, because I would do it until they would bleed.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that the thumbs were specific.
Yeah.
I know the term OCD thumbs, but I will say really cool band
It
name.
is my band, so that's
OCD
exciting for
we're the
me.
OCD thumbs.
I do bass in the OCD thumbs.
And I once I started learning more about OCD, I was like, oh, that's what that is.
It is
So
nothing like
a
how
lot of
portrayed
it
in media.
is like focusing on hyperfixating on like death and dying,
Yeah.
which made sense after I went through what I went through. Because
fair.
I was very like focused on like once I had to confront my own mortality
At the ripe age of 11.
Yeah, I was like, oh, and it got like I thought I was gonna die, and then I didn't, and so then I was like very like,
Oh my God, what
like
insane whiplash.
yeah, it was really crazy, and so like ever since then, I've always been like I always think about like family dying. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Or like, like I would just have like, I don't know, I would like have like really dark thoughts about like, what if this happens to like one of my family members? Or I would do this thing where I would like be, let's say like this is a tiled floor. I used to do this thing in one of my old houses where I was like, okay, I'm walking down the stairs and I can't step on that tile or my mom will die.
Right.
It was like weird stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just like fact.
Thought it was
in your brain.
normal.
It's just fact. And it's like, listen, it is. Like, it's just fact. And you're like, okay, heard.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's what they didn't tell you is there's so much like rumination stuff, right? Like, there's a lot of like internal ritualing and compulsions that are like, like there are physical compulsions, but it's not just physical.
Yeah.
And
I'm never like clean.
turn off. Like, but it's like everyone's is different. It's a spectrum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's I think like a very common thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like having like repetitive, like intrusive thoughts or images of something. And because I get that one, and it's very awful.
It's lovely.
Awful, yeah.
In fact, it's lovely.
The kind of thing where
Lovely.
you're like, I actually can't even explain this out loud because it's so disturbing.
I can't
kind of thing.
explain why I'm not
That's the
eating
thing.
right
It's
now.
like I don't like to tell my family about like having dark thoughts about them dying because
Right.
that is a very upsetting thing to
Right.
say to someone.
Also,
you
if
love.
someone has the ability to hyperfixate or obsess on something, sometimes I'll worry like, oh no, if I say this horrible thought, maybe it'll get stuck in your head.
in your head too, yeah.
But like the thing is that they really do portray it so accurately in the media because usually characters with OCD love clean.
That's so true, actually.
And when you think about it, they love clean. They love too clean.
They
I
love
love
clean.
when colors are the same.
love-
Organized by color,
Yeah, when
make
you-
the
Yeah.
rainbow in order.
The rainbow in order, like putting a bookshelf in order of color.
Just scrub a plate, put
Scrub
it
a
back,
plate.
scrub it again.
I
and that's
clean,
it.
you
and that's
clean,
it. And
yeah.
you're fine. As long as it's clean, you're fine.
as long clean, fine.
As long clean, fine. No bad thoughts.
And in fact, it's actually quirky.
Yeah, like I would love to see. I would love to see
Pretty cute,
Monica from
actually,
Friends have an episode where she thinks she hit a body while driving, like where she's like driving. She has to do like some driving thing, and she's like, "I fucking hit a body," and she has to keep going back and checking. Like that would be a great episode.
Yeah. I would love to see her do something that I did, which is I saw a horror movie about bears, not Cocaine Bear. It was called Backcountry. Terrible portrayal of
Bears?
of a man getting
Super
mauled
offensive
by a
portrayal
bear.
of bears.
Like it was like very realistic. Like man gets mauled by bear, and you're like, oh, and then that's stuck in my head.
Oh, so that right.
And so then I'm like, and now I Google bears at 3 a.m.
just
and
bears.
Just bears.
bears,
or
bear
people being
attacks.
Okay,
Okay.
bear attacks.
Yeah, bear attacks, and then but then that turns into, because it's like a spiral, that turns into like information about bears. Which bear is worst?
Which
like,
bear is worst?
And
Yeah, that's a good
then
band.
and so I will have this like random arsenal of information about bears. People are like, "Do you like bears?" I'm like, "No,
Not at all.
No,
Not
it's
at all.
it's about knowing your enemy."
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Keep your friends close. Keep your bears close.
So when that trend came around, that's like, would you rather be in the woods with a man or a bear?
Would
You
you-
were like,
did you
God,
choose the
what am I
man?
doing?
You know, I made a video about like in support of the bear, obviously, because I was like, I'm not going to like bear's scary, but like I'm not gonna defend.
No, I'm not
men
going to
in
pick
this.
men
Right,
out of this.
right.
even
But
though
at
you're
the same
scared of
time,
bears.
when that trend was going on, I was like, fuck no. I was like, I do not want to be. I don't go into the woods, first of all.
they
go into
they
the
gave you
woods.
the one animal that made it a really hard question. Like they gave you the
Yeah.
hardest animal.
Oh, really?
Like if it was like if it was man versus shark, do you think you would have done better?
No.
Okay, no.
One, because ocean. Two,
Fair,
but two,
fair.
and
Oh
I
my
actually
God.
sharks are my favorite animal. I love them. I don't want to be anywhere near them because I also will look up shark attack videos and then read up about them. And I already knew a lot of shark facts because I
What
loved
makes
them.
them
But
your favorite?
I just had like an interest in them when I was younger, and I would just buy books about sharks
That's
and read
fun.
them.
You
Shark
fuck
Week
with-
came out. Shark Week posted me on their Facebook page a few years
that's-
ago.
Oh.
Put me in a video as one of their top shark fans.
One of their top sharks.
So- Yeah, it was pretty sick.
That's pretty sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That
trying out
was,
that.
I
that
love
work?
that. Getting eaten by an animal, terrible way.
Unless
to
it's
go.
coconut crabs.
Unless it's the crab, yeah.
Oh yeah, if it's coconut crabs, I'm like, oh, take me. That's what happened to Amelia Earhart. I want to be like her.
Eaten by all of the hermit crabs from the mall kiosks.
Yeah, I want to be eaten by the one
Oh,
hermit crab that
yeah.
was loose in my room for weeks.
Yeah, I gave Olivia 2 hermit crabs for her birthday in
One
college,
broke
and
out.
one of them got lost and lived.
Lived.
Underneath a bed with no food or
Sea
water.
Animals are really hard to take care of. I had fish.
Yeah,
Goldfish?
fish are-
No, I had like a weird
You had, like,
collection. I had
legit
upside
fish.
down catfish.
The fuck?
They swam like this. It
Oh,
was
so they're
very-
sexy is what you're
They were
saying.
they were super sexy, and I didn't want to admit that I
Was attracted
turned
to them.
on. So
Right.
I never.
So
This
that's
is
when
the
you
first
killed
time.
it.
Yeah.
So that's when you turn the lights on and off.
They're like this big. I'm just like, yeah.
my
But I
God.
had
Can't love you.
That's them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is sexy.
They're right. Aren't you like a
Okay.
little
I'm
horny
turned
right
on.
now?
I'm on dog.
Those fish move by shimmying.
Yeah, a little bit. That's kind of what it looks like when they swim. But I also had these like invisible fish, kind of, that like their skin was see-through.
Oh, I think yes.
Yeah, you could see their eyes and their spines and like whatever organ stuff was going on inside.
They're like translucent.
Yes, yeah. Like you see, they're like,
they're
ooh,
sexy, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
those are
sexy.
sexy fish.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
I got it.
But the upside, one day we were cleaning out the fish bowl, and my sister didn't know that my mom and I were cleaning it out. So we had the bowl of fish on the ground. She walks in the room, steps in the bowl.
no.
Fish go flying. And, you know, we were like picking up
bowl?
out of the bowl. And so we were picking them up and we're putting them back in. But the invisible fish were invisible. So we like never found them. So there was there was just like invisible fish carcass probably somewhere in my rug.
Still?
Probably to this day. I hope whoever lives there now, one day they're going to be like, is this a...
One of my best friends from high school had a string of beta fish that committed suicide.
They jumped out of the bowl.
And a puffer fish, and we would
like
find them
that.
behind the couch. It was awful.
Oh my God.
I don't know how they got that far. Like they got
jump.
so far, they would commit suicide.
They were like
never
Judy
again.
Greer in What Women Want.
Yeah, except
like
there was
like
no,
the one right next
no
to
Mel
it is
Gibson
kind of the one that I had. That's
to
so
give her a job.
sad, Yeah.
Oh my God.
Christ.
R.I.P.
That's also a very cool looking fish.
Right? I was like, this is pretty neat.
Oh
and
my God.
You know, and they perished, unfortunately. But don't we all?
But don't we all, really?
talking.
And don't we all? Here is a fun segment. That is kind of fun. It's just sort of a segment called
Should That Exist? Music! Cut the music! Okay, so should that exist? We kind of went through and found some things that are
recent pop culture-y, but I don't know.
Recent controversial things, and we're going to decide if they should exist or not. Okay? The first one, apparently...
Oh, we're going to start with a really interesting one.
People online are pressed about this. Is that how people say it?
Yeah, that's exactly how people say it.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm learning how to be human. Okay.
You hatched this morning.
I hatched this morning. And how do I talk to a sibling?
Hello, I hatched this morning. I'm here to fuck my sibling.
So apparently young people are now wearing milkmaid dresses to the club. Have you heard of this?
I did.
19 to 22-year-olds have been wearing milkmaid dresses to the club. People are saying this is a sign of being conservative?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 19-year-olds aren't allowed at the club.
Well, okay. Like young people.
The 18 plus club.
Okay. So I have a very nuanced take on this, but I want to hear everyone else's take first. Because
Stanzi, go for it.
I mean,
and also, if you don't know what a milkmaid dress is, it is like a sort of
a milkmaid dress
for the audience.
Yeah,
you know what it is.
Great.
Never mind.
Yeah, kind of like flowy, usually pastel, white,
kind of like
linens,
very Little House on the Prairie-esque.
Yeah,
I actually just wore a very like milkmaid style dress the other day that I posted on Instagram, and it is very much like that. I look like a Victorian ghost.
Yes. No, I said yes too fast because that sounded like I agreed that you looked like a Victorian ghost, and that would have sucked.
That would have been great.
No, I didn't. Oh, then
that's what you were going.
That's
for.
what I meant.
That was the look.
That's 100% what I meant.
A lot of people told me I looked like I was
Good.
haunting.
Great.
And I was like, I was
what you were
was
going
trying
for.
to look like the dead sister from Hocus Pocus.
God, yeah.
Yeah. So milkmaid dresses at the club.
Yeah.
Look, you can wear whatever you want. I mean, back in when I was like younger and first started going to the club, a lot of people were wearing the business chic at the club that we make fun of now. So
like
it was
the
like
tie?
the blazers.
Yeah,
it was like you just got out of the office. It was almost like what was it they call it? Office siren.
Yeah.
It was like almost like office siren, but a little more cringe.
It was
like that's
back
what people.
When Forever 21 was selling pre-rolled up blazers, and the roll, last
stitched?
cuff had it was like silk with stripes. Does that make sense, or is that way too specific?
No, I get it.
Okay.
I used to wear blazers to the club. You
I
know?
get it.
I don't. I do love going to the club. I think if I saw a milkmaid dress at the club, I'd be like, what the fuck? Who's this ghost haunting this club?
And you like that, though.
I do love a haunted club.
Yeah, I do love a haunted club. I would never wear something like that to the club.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna, I guess if you want to go for it, if you're a hot girl, they're gonna let you in whatever you're wearing anyway.
All right, Syd, what's your take?
My thing is I think everyone should be able to wear whatever they want, really.
Yep.
I don't necessarily know that this is a sign of people becoming more conservative, although I understand what people are saying. I kind of think it's more just like people wanting to be comfortable. Like, to me, that looks more comfortable than like a skin-tight dress, so I understand, especially if you're like drinking a lot and you're like, oh, I'm gonna feel a little like bloated and I just would rather feel a little flowy.
Yeah.
I totally get it. So I understand that. I don't care what you wear to the club. I won't be there because
Fair.
I'll be at home watching reality TV.
Fair.
But I've been denied from a club for wearing jeans, and all my friends were let in. So maybe I'm kind of like, let everyone wear what they want.
I think that's fair. I'm coming from a very specific point of view, which is raging leftist who loves milkmaid dresses on my body. I love to wear them.
Yeah.
I love to wear feminine, form-fitting shit. I think it looks so good on me. I also wear other shit, but I just dress really femme. I just like how it looks on me. And I still kind of, think everyone should be allowed to wear whatever the fuck they want at the club, unless it's like got a hate symbol on it, in which case let's not do that. But like this, sure, do your thing. I don't give a fuck. I will say, I do agree with the fact that there's a lot of micro things, bringing back that trad wife, super hyper femme. I think if you are hyper femme right now, and this is only like a right now in this time in history part, I think it's important to be outspoken about your political beliefs if you're super femme. Because there's like a little tiny bit of it is, I'm not going to say it's not real. Like there's a thing online where it's like there's a lot of this like, you know, making fun of like, it like this, I watched a girl make fun of people being upset at this trend, which objectively, like, yeah, it is kind of stupid to be upset at what other people are wearing to a club because, like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But, you know, she was being like, oh, wow, now we're all MAGA, now we're all conservative, and, like, making fun of it. And I was kind of like, okay, where is she going with this? And at the end, she's like, well, and, like, after this video where she was, like, very, like, I'm in the middle, this isn't political, she's like, yeah, maybe, like, you're just upset because women are enjoying being feminine again, and men are attracted to feminine women. And it's like, that's what you meant.
Yeah,
That's what you meant. You said it at the end, you know, and so it's like,
we got you on camera.
And being like, is it misogynistic to dress modest? And it's like, no, do whatever the fuck you want. But you still said it at the end. You still said it, you know?
Yeah, I guess it's hypocritical because what you're saying is like, well, I'm not dressing for the male gaze. I'm dressing for what I want. And then at the end, still admitting to dressing for the male gaze.
Yeah. Whether you're wearing a like super tight short shorts, because they're all comparing it to that, being like, ugh, these girls are like, people are being like, I want to dress like Snooki, but all these people are dressed like trad wives. And it's like, okay, dress however the fuck you want.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point is, do it because that's how you want to dress, not because you're like, my only purpose is being a whole.
Yeah, right. And there's a lot. It's not even just the trad wife
me,
thing.
hand down, hand down.
What if purpose is being a hole?
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
Oh, I just need a big strong
just a
man.
hole for my brother.
Oh, just a hole for my big strong brother.
For my brother
that loves Folgers.
This week on CBS.
Can you see my brother too?
I'm just a hole for my brother.
You want to fuck him too, right? You want to fuck my brother too, right? You see him too, right? You want to?
He's so hot, don't you think?
I had to stab you because my brother told me. You see him too,
guys. I do think there could be a show like an episode of ER if we're going to be talking about the girl who's like super schizophrenic. In
the bad portrayal of schizophrenia.
There should be an episode of ER where the poorly portrayed schizophrenic girl
meets her adult brother,
keeps fantasizing her brother, and he's too hot,
and he's so hot, and he's shirtless really the whole time, and he's like, what Mom always said.
Yeah.
We got to stick together.
Yeah.
And you got to kill that guy. You got to kill that guy. You got to stab that guy.
Stab that guy, then fuck me. Yeah, I think that's actually the perfect
That's
show.
the perfect TV show.
Okay, are we going to win some Emmys?
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
methinks an Emmy is coming our way.
Okay, methinks Emmy is for me. The next thing on the list, which is related to this, is this hat. This hat has also become popular.
Guess where? And what do you think about this?
I've seen it. Oh, it's dreadful. It looks like you should be like, oh, Mr. Wickham was coming over.
Yeah.
Oh, so people are saying this hat is a little reminiscent of
the bonnet they wear in The Handmaid's Tale.
It's a little Handmaid's Tale.
And I would also accept arguments where people are like, it's not exactly the same. Totally. I understand it's not exactly the same.
Not.
But tell me what other hat it's closer to.
I think it reminds me very much of like Pride and Prejudice.
Yes.
It reminds me of like 1800s.
It feels like this is a hat you wear when you own human beings?
Uh-oh.
Is it not?
Or when you're trying to seduce Mr. Darcy.
It's definitely.
I see.
And I will say, once again, I love when anyone wears whatever the fuck they want to wear. And if this is not the intention and we're not doing like a dark undercurrent here where it seems very clearly like what it is what it is, then awesome.
I guess what I'm thinking
if she just loves the hat, then I love that for her.
You know how, like,
I don't know.
Fashion always comes back, right? We always are adopting.
It's always recycling.
We're always adopting things that were popular a long time ago. I don't know that we have to go this far back.
Yeah.
Look up like 1800s like bonnets.
Yeah.
Because that'll probably...
Maybe we can just go back to, I don't know, the 90s.
Yeah, like that's, I think, what they're going for.
Right. I mean, to be fair, this bitch is iconic.
And like I'm like, if you're dressing like that,
so that's literally what I look like. Wait, put that photo next to me right now. That's truly how I see myself.
Maybe you need a bonnet.
What the fuck is a Charleston bonnet? Because that doesn't...
That bitch's eyes were identical to my eyes. Like, one of them was kind of floating away, kind of how mine does.
Yeah, like when you see some of the lower ones, like that is, I think, what they're going for. It is still handmade.
Yeah, I know it's not exact, but boy,
I can
but it is regardless of what they're going for. It is ugly,
and also,
and you should stop.
Even with these people, like, can you go back to that picture up there?
The one that looks like you?
No, that one. Yeah, her. Yeah. I probably don't agree with her political beliefs, right?
No,
she's very much like the South needs to secede.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels like the South needs to secede hats.
Right.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I still am allowed to have my feelings, and that's how I feel.
And based on the current political climate,
I think leaning in that direction, which is why that's why,
you just gotta be careful right now.
You gotta be very supportive loudly of who you're supportive of.
You just gotta be careful
What's
right
this
now.
Bitch's deal?
Like that I'm gonna tell you, that girl and I don't have the same views on human rights.
She would fucking hate me. Yeah. She would think I was so fucking annoying.
She doesn't even look like she likes Italians.
No. yeah.
You're fucked.
She would hear my last name and she'd be like, get that walk
She's
out
like,
of here.
Irish people aren't white.
Yeah,
like, she's still,
Yeah, damn, dude.
But you know what? I'm pretty sure she likes Jews. I'm safe. I'm kidding.
Oh, definitely.
She doesn't like Jews.
Yeah, no.
She very clearly doesn't like Jews.
Oh boy.
Yeah. She was not on board for any of that until they needed to rally the Italian and white people because they're like, we need more whites. Slavery's over. We need more whites.
Told Italian people they weren't white, they really stuck with that. They took it, they sprinted away with it, and we were like, yes.
I'm an Irish Italian.
Me too.
And
so we drink and fight.
and
commit epic revenge.
Yeah, we
commit
guns
the best
to places.
Revenge that there is.
Oh yeah. Like we can hold a grudge and hold down our feelings.
Yeah.
When the Italian comes out, that's when we're yelling, and when we need to bury things, that's the Irish.
Yep, 100%.
But it is like the Irish are like, well, the Irish were persecuted too, and then the Italians were like, we're not really white.
And it's like, guys, I understand what the Irish are saying.
I understand.
But they're still white. And guys, hey, Sydney, did you have a headline that you were keeping a secret from me?
Okay, so here's another one. Here's another thing on the list. Where the fuck is it? Okay, here's another thing on the list of should that exist.
Yeah.
Reminder, we're still playing this game. This is a headline I saw, and I just kind of wanted to see if you guys think it should exist. Cha-ching! Millions of dimes spill onto Texas highway after truck rolls.
Oh, God. Is that New York? Is that the New York Post?
No, this is AP News. There is a headline that says, cha-ching! Millions of dimes spill onto Texas highway after truck rolls. Now, the truck rolled.
So here's a question.
Those people had to go to the hospital.
I was going to ask, in the article that starts with cha-ching.
It starts with cha-ching.
Do they later on say, like, cha-ching, there were 5 injuries?
Cha-ching, they had to go to the hospital. Cha-ching, critical injury.
Millions of dimes. Wow, that's so many dimes.
And can I tell you something? Dimes... Not really what I say cha-ching to.
Okay, well, you know what I do say cha-ching to? I say cha-ching, the injuries are not life-threatening.
Okay, cha-ching.
I would have started off by saying, no, this shouldn't exist, and I've had so much fun in the last 30 seconds that I'm going to do a complete 180.
Great.
And I think that every every like scary and bad headline should start with like
Cha-ching!
cha-ching or something.
You gotta, if you're into that, you gotta look up like New York Post headlines because they are brutal. There was one, I talked about one on my old podcast where it was like, loner dies after stabbing himself from trying to like split frozen patties in half. Loner. Yeah, fatal injuries.
Fatal injury after.
So mean.
It's so bad, right? And then there was another one where a woman got attacked by river otters. And you're reading it. I forget what the headline was, but when you're reading the article, it starts off with, that otter hurt.
And it's like,
and then later, they do it again.
it's like she's in the ICU. That otter hurt.
And they do it again later. They go, she must be utterly devastated. No! I'm like, damn, just a knife twist.
Wow.
Oh my God, whoever wrote that needs to be fired, unfortunately.
That was like,
I mean,
New York Post.
I think they should
brutal.
lean into being like, we present news in the worst way possible.
They do.
Now, oh my God, wait, yeah. Jogger left bloody, dazed, and crying after getting mauled. And then that
that ought to leave a mark.
The headline is, was left crying.
That otter leave a mark.
I'm sorry, guys. That otter leave a mark. A woman was left crying in a pool of her own blood. That is how it goes.
A woman was left crying in a pool of her own blood after getting savaged by a gang of otters.
Okay, wait,
the actual
gang
fuck?
of otters?
Yeah, because river otters
Wow.
are like really, because you always see sea otters being all cute and stuff.
No,
and
otters.
but river otters.
They do. They dead otters.
River otters are like
I
the bad
swear.
ones. They're like the scary bad
Are they the
ones.
ones that rip dead otters?
Probably, yeah. River otters are like the mean, fucked up ones.
Can you
like,
look up if river otters do not? Because I think they do, and we don't have to keep it, but I just want to know.
I mean, we
then
might
we'd
as
have
well
something in
know.
common.
Yeah.
We could find common ground between these otters.
Not images. Yes, otters, the violent serial
sea
killing
otters
for monsters
too,
of
yeah.
the sea. They,
Now, it's so
and then I'm not
crazy.
going to read the rest of it.
They're so cute, and like you buy stuffed otters for like your niece or something.
Yes.
But meanwhile, they're neck.
Yeah, do you even know about celebrity culture, Sydney?
That's true.
You give a stuffed animal to your niece.
You
You're
go,
like, you
"Here's
know these otters assault each other?
Here's a Michael Jackson's action figure to my son in the 90s.
That's true. It's we can't really idolize any celebrity.
We have to separate the art from the artist.
Here's one more headline that I need to know.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Is this
Is this
okay?
allowed?
Is this allowed? No sweat. Humanoid robots run a Chinese half marathon alongside flesh and blood competitors. So remember how that's okay. So here I have a lot of things about this.
Right.
Referring to a person as a flesh and blood competitor.
Yeah.
No
That's
sweat.
going to be my biggest take as well.
Humanoid robots run a Chinese half marathon alongside flesh and blood competitors.
That's what they're going to call us when the robots eventually like oppress us.
Yeah, flesh and blood.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we're gonna
those-
need like some dystopian novel where it's about robots referring to their human employees as flesh and blood, like flesh and blood competitors.
Or we could just wait for it to
Happen in real life.
The thing that I think is so crazy, just with all of the robotics and AI situations going on, I just think it's so crazy that they go like, we made an AI thing and we're going to have it do not what could like help society, but what's the coolest thing a person could do. Like, we're going to have it write a screenplay.
Yeah.
We're going to have it run a marathon.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, can it
Fix cancer?
Cancer?
I don't know. If it's so smart, let it fix cancer.
Can it like figure out how to like deliver clean water to like places that don't have it?
And they're
what
like,
the fuck?
Oh no, but it could definitely run.
It can run a marathon. It didn't even sweat. And
could
it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the AI stuff is so bad because it's like, can this cure like Alzheimer's?
Yeah.
Can we find a cure for Alzheimer's? Like, no, but it can make Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Yeah. And it's like,
And guess what? It will have the wrong number of fingers. One more thing.
yeah.
We've got one more thing on the list of should that exist. Matt Rife is joining the Ghost Adventures crew. Olivia has walked off camera. Matt Rife, popular...
Just doing an episode, right?
I don't know. But
I mean, if it's an episode, like,
Did you hear that the ghost hunter guy's wife tried to kill him?
Yes, Aaron's wife tried to kill him. Okay, so
She went to jail?
Was this recent?
yes, this was like very recent. Okay, so I'm gonna get into some deep cut Olivia stuff. I've watched Ghost Adventures obsessively with my family since I was 12. Not because we believe in the ghosts, but for the character dynamics of the show. If you know, you know. If you don't, that is okay. There are some fucking geniusly delightful, sometimes accidentally funny, sometimes on purpose funny character dynamics in that show.
Yeah, there's
Matt Rife, though. Well, they've had Post Malone on. That is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
But that's
have you been to the Zach Bagans Museum?
you know I have. You know I fucking have.
There's a museum?
There's a 2-hour,
Oh,
3-hour
it
long
is-
haunted museum with every haunted thing.
We had such a good time there, but not because we were like actually enjoying ourselves there. It was because like we went in a big group. It was for my birthday because we did a Vegas trip for my birthday.
Yep.
We went to Zach Bagans. It's so long. And also
so
I
long.
never watched Ghost Adventures.
I watched
but like
all of it.
when you're like going through the little like show clips of him talking, it's just like, my name is Zach Bagans and you're
I
in
never
this
believed
room.
in ghosts until I came face to face with one.
In this room, like 10 people have fainted
Yeah.
because of the ominous presence.
It's so good.
And it's like, no, 10 people have fainted because it's so hot in here. There's no water.
Yeah.
And you have like old people that are walking here for 2 hours.
So good. He the current opening, like he goes, there are things in this world we will never fully understand.
Like
And
my wife.
We need answers. Answers.
I guess
So yeah,
the best way to understand them is to have Matt Rife do crowd work at them.
That's actually such a good
Matt
point.
Rife doing crowd work with a room of ghosts is kind of awesome.
I will say,
What did you do for a living?
Yeah.
I will say,
Were you blonde? Did you have fake titties? Everybody goes, ha 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 ha.
I think if Matt Rife does do crowd work at the Ghosts, I will have to watch it because
Everything will start to like shake because
Yeah.
they're like, get this
they're like,
fucking
yeah,
dude out of here.
Yeah, he's got a punchable face. But Aaron. So Aaron, the best. He's the best character. He was a camera guy who was just like, he just seemed high for the first bunch of seasons, and he was just always scared. And Zach would just always put him in like the room where the woman killed herself, and now everyone who goes into that room gets psychoses, and he'd like lock. So there was this dynamic. But Aaron is hilarious. He's just like a very funny character on the show who's also just himself. Like he's not a character, but his wife tried to kill him.
I hate when that happens.
His wife hired a.
My wife tried to kill me again.
That's actually a really good setup for like a stand-up joke.
Conspiracy.
Because all the stand-ups are being like, my wife.
My wife.
So
yeah.
that's perfect for him if he and Matt Rife go on tour together. He can be like, well, my wife tried to kill me, hee hee.
It's interesting that she's only going to do 2 to 10 years. Also, I will say this.
Well, she didn't succeed.
She's just
She
a
didn't
girl.
succeed, but she is just a girl. I totally forgot. What's and $5,000 fine. Here's what I'll say.
That's a lot.
I watch a lot of true crime, and I think that people. Oh, she fell in love with a convicted murderer who massacred his entire family over 5 years ago, and that's why she did it.
Wow.
Ooh.
And the plot
thickens. Not good at all.
Very excited for the
When people,
what's his face? Who's the guy? Ryan Murphy show. I'm excited for the Ryan Murphy show.
Oh, yeah.
when people. Am I a bad person? She said in a text because I choose to end his existence, not divorce. Yes, queen.
I would say yeah.
Yes,
I
queen.
just don't
Yes, you are.
understand the like, especially like when it's like a family annihilator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog.
And that guy?
all you had to
That's
do-
the guy?
Oh,
Not to look shame, but he killed his mother and his family. Guys, when
got
people
something about him.
accept
he shaved his head when he was in middle school
There
after he
you
went
go.
to Sent Away.
That's what it is.
when people do hitman deals, the money is so low. I watch so much true crime, and
Yeah, it's true.
the amount of people who hire a hitman, either a real hitman or they're talking to a cop who's pretending to be a hitman. The money is insanely low.
Yeah.
It is less than like there. It's I was gonna say it's less than a brand deal. Like, because sometimes it'll be like, I'll give you $1,000 to kill my husband, and it's like,
Oh my God.
that is so low.
That's so low.
Like it's like it'll be like, $1,000, $2,000.
It's crazy.
Hey,
Sometimes
if
it's 10.
if you're a hitman out there, know your worth.
Yeah, know your worth. We need, you know what? That's actually a really good course we should do.
Yeah.
Of like how to
because we're
market,
content creators.
how to market yourself as a hitman, to
Yes.
know your worth. Because also, like, let's be honest, you're a hitman. You're doing the majority of the work, right? The brand, the client that wants you to commit the murder.
They're not doing much.
They're not doing much of the work. Sure, you do have to take their notes, you have to listen to them, but I also think, you know, you have to value yourself, and you also have to understand that if you get caught, you're going to go to jail forever. So you should at least get a lot of money.
Yeah, that's like insanely low.
$5,000 to, it's an average of $15,000. That's more than a brand deal, but still.
It's still, I mean,
Some people
for
get brand deals
taking
that
a
are more than that.
yeah, I mean, like,
Oh my God, it's 2% of murders.
I've made more than that promoting sex toys. Like, you're taking a human life.
I know, and it's like at least for what, $250,000?
Oh yeah, that's what I thought
least.
these people were like putting up.
Sorry, that's how much you do it for?
That to me is the least amount of money I would hear someone taking and go, like, okay, I guess maybe they really needed the money. But if it's less than that, I'm going to go like, what the fuck are you doing? But if it's more than that, I'm going to go like, okay, maybe they just like really thought it would work.
Right.
Yeah, like
But my rate would be
300K will
higher.
talk.
My rate would be higher because I just wouldn't want to like not hang with my peeps.
I get
You know,
that.
when you
yeah.
go to jail, a lot of the time you got to get all new peeps.
I would miss my cat so much.
Yeah, I'd be bummed out.
Yeah.
You know?
What?
That's what's keeping
I would
us
miss
from
my
becoming
peeps
a-
and my
Never
vibes.
ever said
No,
peeps
one-
before
one-
ever.
my
in
my
life.
peeps.
One time we were like doing some random thing years ago, and someone was like, "Okay, you guys got it," and I was like, "Vibes," and Syd stopped the shoot to be like, "You've never said that, and that's not how you talk." And I was like, "That is completely correct. I've never said that."
Sometimes
All right,
you just
vibes.
hatch.
Vibes.
from
I
eggs.
hatched this morning.
Yeah.
my
Well,
gosh.
speaking of hatched this morning, what egg can the people find you in online?
Oh yeah, if people are looking to find your egg, what egg can they look up?
Oh, you can just look up Stanzi Potenza on pretty much everything.
Well, that's
Yeah.
very fucking.
I'm on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Snapchat.
iconic.
I think that's it.
And if there's anything else, I dare you to find it on your own.
Yeah.
You do the work.
You can also find some bonus content as
yeah.
well as early, uncut, extended, uncensored episodes of
Yep.
the podcast on our Patreon.
It's literally there
It's
for
literally
you.
$5. It's so cheap, and you can get these episodes early, and they can have even more stuff in them.
Yeah, and also just a bunch of other stuff too, just like random stuff.
We did a fan fiction between J.D. Vance and Clippy, the paperclip from Microsoft. Check it out on our Patreon.
I announced my psychiatric results and then announced the correction because I was wrong the first time because I jumped the gun and gave my preliminary results instead of my comprehensive results.
So if
all
you
on
wanna-
the Patreon.
See all that on the Patreon. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Stanzi.
Thank you for being here.
You're the fucking
We love
best.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, we love you.
Queens.
We often end on a freeze frame. Would you like to do that with us?
Cool, yeah.
It can be
So
anything.
we'll see you next Tuesday.